One day, when asking my son if he wanted to do something, his response was, "Sure. Sure, Dad." And when I asked him, "Cole, what does that mean? What does sure mean?" "Well, Dad, it means yes and no." So we got a little chuckle, and kind of since then, sure has been kind of a running joke in our house. "You wanna do something? Sure. What do you want for dinner? Sure." So it's this little joke that means, "I don't really care, Dad. You make a decision. I trust you." I think what's interesting about that is we should always remember that a decision not to make a decision is still a decision. It's an active choice, right? I'm actively choosing not to decide here. And those of you that have been following this for a little while, remember a few months ago when I told a story about how I lost $1 million selling Apple stock over 20 years ago. And one of the biggest hindsights at the end of that story was how if I'd literally done nothing, I would be $1 million richer today because of the exponential growth of Apple, the stock in the company. Choosing not to make a decision and do nothing is an active choice. It's absolutely a decision. And I believe that sometimes we forget that this is an option to our detriment. So let's talk about it. Choosing not to decide accepts the status quo. I've got something that I enjoy saying. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Meaning, essentially, is doing something better than doing nothing? Inertia is a powerful baseline. How many software products have been invented attempting to overtake the spreadsheet? Think about that for a second. I joke a lot that my wife is my weekend planner when someone asks me, "What are you doing this weekend?" I don't know, whatever my wife tells me to. A common thing that she asks me on the weekend is, "Hey, what do you want for dinner? You choose." By not deciding, I'm essentially delegating the choice of power to her. I'm giving it up to someone else, right? And we can do this. We empower others and acknowledge that we will accept whatever outcome that comes along, whatever decision they make. And we do this for a number of reasons, right? Because it's not that important to us or because we trust the person. But I think it should be remembered that just because we delegate this does not should not be misconceived as a neutral or unbiased. She sometimes does make a decision to do something or to go get something that I'm not crazy about, but I accept those consequences. And maybe in a situation like this, it's because we value their happiness more than we do ourselves. A little bit of selflessness, a little bit of, hey, if you're happy, I'm happy, right? And that could be a total other reason not to make a decision. Time can also factor into decision making. If we delay a decision, circumstances can change, possibly improve, or possibly get worse. It can allow for more context and research to be gathered to make a better decision. Timing can also cause the opportunity to be lost and you can't make that decision anymore. Timing is everything, after all, if you've ever heard that quote. And timing can absolutely be a major factor in decision making. Finally, opportunity cost was probably one of the most important things I learned from my early economic classes. Every decision has some sort of cost to it. When you choose not to decide, you may miss out on potential benefits or positive outcomes that could have been achieved through decisive action. You could also avoid making huge mistakes that suck a lot of your time and money. So, opportunity costs are another reason why you might want to slow down. So, in closing, just to remind you, when making a decision, do not leave this important outcome off the table. Keep it in your utility belt and know that it's available. I would even venture to say that the majority of decisions we make end in this null state, right? How many hours are in a day? How many minutes are in a day? And how many times we just decide not to do something because we're going to continue to do whatever we're going to do. So don't forget about choosing not to make a decision is absolutely a decision. And it's a powerful tool that you can utilize daily in all of your decision making. And sometimes is the right choice. And in that, have a great weekend.